In 1994, a tragedy in Hamilton Township, New Jersey, changed child protection laws in the United States forever. A 7-year-old girl named Megan Kanka was abducted, assaulted, and murdered by a convicted sex offender who lived just across the street, a man whose criminal past was unknown to the community. Her death led to the creation of Megan's Law, a system designed to protect children by making sex offender information available to the public. In the summer of 1994, Megan Kanka was like any other happy and playful 7-year-old. She lived with her parents, Maureen and Richard Kanka, in a suburban neighborhood where children played outside freely. Her family believed their neighborhood was safe, but what they didn't know was that a convicted sex offender lived just 100 feet away. The man who lived across the street was Jesse Temendikwas, a 35-year-old convicted sex offender with a history of violence against young girls. His first known offense occurred in 1979 in Piscataway, New Jersey. Temendikwas lured a 5-year-old girl into a wooded area near his home and attempted to sexually assault her. He was arrested and convicted of attempted aggravated sexual assault and sentenced to a sex offender treatment program. Just 2 years later, in 1981, he attacked another child. This time, he lured a 7-year-old girl into his car, drove her to a secluded location, and sexually assaulted her. For this crime, he was sentenced to 6 years in prison, but was released after serving only 2 years. After his release, Temendikwas moved into a home with 2 other convicted sex offenders in Hamilton Township. At the time, there were no laws requiring officials to notify residents about his past crimes. On July 29, 1994, Megan was outside playing when Temendikwas lured her into his house under the false pretense of showing her a new puppy. Once inside, he brutally assaulted and strangled her with a belt. A few hours later, he dumped her body in a wooded area, just a few miles from her home. When Megan didn't return home, her parents immediately called the police. A massive search effort was launched, with volunteers and law enforcement searching tirelessly. Within 24 hours, police discovered Megan's body. Shortly after, Jesse Temendikwas was caught when police noticed inconsistencies in his statements. Investigators found Megan's body in a wooded area, and forensic evidence, including fibers and DNA, linked him to the crime. Under pressure, he ultimately confessed. The community was in shock. How could a convicted sex offender have been living next door without anyone knowing? Megan's parents, Maureen and Richard Kanka, were devastated but determined to prevent this from happening to another child. They argued that if they had known about their neighbor's criminal history, they could have taken precautions to protect Megan. Fueled by grief and anger, the Kankas started a petition demanding that sex offenders be publicly identified. At one event held in Hamilton Township in the summer of '94, Maureen Kanka addressed the crowd saying, "I don't want to see this happen to any one of your children. I want you to scare your children. I want you to tell them. Don't sugarcoat it. Tell them what happens to little children by sex offenders." The Kankas promised hundreds of people they would fight for legislation to prevent other children from what Megan endured in the final moments of her young life. Their petition gathered over 430,000 signatures, gaining national attention. On October 31, 1994, New Jersey became the first state to pass Megan's Law. 2 years later, on May 17, 1996, President Bill Clinton signed Megan's Law into federal law, requiring all U.S. states to create sex offender registries and allow public access to the information. Megan's Law works in 3 key ways. Sex offender registration. Convicted. Sex offenders must register with local law enforcement when they are released from prison, providing details such as their name, address, photograph, fingerprints, and place of employment. They are also required to update their registration periodically and whenever they move to a new location. Community notification. The public must be notified when high-risk sex offenders move into their area, including detailed alerts through community meetings, law enforcement bulletins, and online databases to ensure awareness and preparedness. Online sex offender databases. Every state has a publicly accessible website where anyone can search for registered sex offenders by location, name, or crime. This ensures that parents, schools, and communities can take necessary precautions. Megan's Law has had a major impact on child protection. Parents can check if sex offenders live nearby. Schools and daycare centers use registries to screen employees and volunteers. Law enforcement can track and monitor high-risk offenders more effectively. The law has helped prevent crimes by raising awareness and accountability. More than 25 years later, Megan's Law continues to protect children and inform communities. Although Kanka's life was tragically cut short, her story has helped prevent countless others from facing the same fate. To stay informed and protect your loved ones, visit www.nsopw.gov, the National Sex Offender Public Website. Megan's Law was amended by the Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act of 2006, which strengthened sex offender registration and community notification requirements.